Welcome, everybody. Tanja and Norma with Adventures for Connection. Arlene beat Sydney. Cindy over on Facebook. Way to go, Arlene. So it's kind of a running joke. And Tango over on Rumble said, and boom, Tanja and Norma are back with sand between their toes, moon dust in their eyes, and stardust in their hair. We love it. We love it. And we have a new microphone. Look, it's a Palo Santo stick. We're just giggling over here, having fun. Norma, how you doing today?
Oh boy, it's thank you.
You're welcome.
It's been quite a experiential day. It was a good start to get up early this morning and prepare for a beautiful venture you had set up for us today to tap more into the beings that we are here, having a human experience, and to be able to experience that through this this form that we all come here to experience this beautiful place in. So how about you, T? How you doing today?
Yeah. So you didn't tell them what we did today.
No, I'm gonna let you.
Today we got up, and as we put in the post, and I need to make sure I say it right because I'm still learning, TEMAZCAL. And so it's a sweat lodge, but it's really local and indigenous here to everyone. And so, yeah, you like the mic? We like it too. When you're traveling, you got to do what you got to do. So it's basically a sweat lodge, and it was female led today. And so it's a couple that own this property, and it's one of the more traditional in the area. And so we will get some posters. Actually, while Norma's chatting next, I'm going to go ahead and jump in and grab those photos so I can share them with you guys and do a show and tell instead. So what I think currently, you know, we went in there. It was really beautiful. It was very testing, energetically healing, and it's just a really good way to reset yourself. It's a good sweat. Yeah, like everything comes out, whether or not you want it to. And then Norma and I were picking up things. Do you want to share about your experience, and I'll grab the photos?
Sure. So this was probably my first true experience with the sweat lodge. I've had, if I recollect correctly, either one or two experience before that. It was a lot smaller. One was kind of like in a teepee, and the other one was like what's the one that you put towels over? Or
that's the more traditional indigenous for Canada and the US.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. So I had done those before, and this one was totally different. It was led in a way that spiritually it was different, and they did a beautiful job. They were so accommodating. They wanted to ensure that the experience that we were able to have doing this sweat lodge was to the fullest of the max that they could bring in those. What am I looking for here? It got really hot.
Yeah, giving you what's going to happen for you.
Right.
Really going into the steps of it, because quite often what happens is people don't know what to expect. But if you know what to expect and they give you the key words for your mind, then you can go, oh, yeah, they talked about this. And it lets your mind relax, which I find is fascinating.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was, like I said, it was different for me. I ended up finding a corner in the very back. It's not very big, but it can accommodate up to, I think, what was it?
They would put, I'd say 12 to 15 in that one. Okay. Easily. Yeah.
And there was 6
plus 3. So we were 9.
So there was 9 of us in there. 3 was there holding space, but of course T always, she being one of those pillars as well. So, so I, as the ceremony began, it began, they put rock in the middle, of course, after they heat them up and prepare them. They will let you know what you need to do if you're feeling too hot, or if you feel as though you can't breathe. They give you tips. They tell you what you can do to assist in that while you're going through allowing these, um, allowing what's taking place just to um, be harnessed, and you go directly to your heart space. The drumming inside just really just amplifies the energy and the vibration and the frequency that's going on as they're playing the drums. And as I'm sitting there, of course, because y'all know me, I'm always traversing both worlds, so, or meandering both worlds, however it is you want to look at it, or see, um, see or take that. But it was, as I was sitting there and the drums were playing and the songs were being sung, I was beginning to just see things through my third eye. I was seeing colors. I was seeing geometric shapes. I was also sitting there. It was unique because even though my eyes were closed, I could still open them and still be able to see. And what I saw in front of me with my eyes closed and with my eyes open was this white light of what seemed to be another being meditating in front of me. And so it was very experiential. I had no fear whatsoever. So it was just so calming. It felt good to feel every bit of the body that my spirit engulfs and is with, to get to know the total uniqueness of the vibration that can go from your foot all the way to the tip of your head. So it was definitely something I will continue to do when the chances present themselves. And it was very, very profound for me. I was able to just feel that balance going through, and then sitting in the corner, because uh, there's there's information about corners and all that, especially with geometry. At this moment, I can't remember, but it's very significant that when you sit in corners, that there is a collective energy, and it's a balanced energy. And as I was sitting there, I was feeling the energies just like a scale running through me, and it was like a beautiful dance between the masculine and feminine that is within this form. So it was very, very experiential, and I was very appreciative and grateful to be able to experience something so profound.
Yeah, and we do these at Vedette Lake with David. And so David is what we call the pourer. So he hosts it. And then there's always a fire keeper. And just a reminder, everyone, to give the video a like and share it out if you choose. Just need to remember to say that. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, it was amazing. And so let's play this little video clip. And dun, da, da, there you go. And it probably cut out a little bit when I loaded this. So let's just make sure it plays. There we go. So this is her creating her sweep. So quite often the sweep is for just moving the energy within the space, especially over the fire. And so she went around and picked. So I can't recall her name. Names are hard to remember sometimes, as you know. But they're a couple. And this, what I understood, is her uncle's property. And so it's quite a big property, and it's quite beautiful. And this is a space where everyone hangs out beforehand, and they've got all of these different carvings and different words. Not fully sure what they meant. The language is a bit of a barrier. We had a friend, Karina, with us, who was helping to translate for us. And they have like a cold shower outside afterwards. They're already getting the fire going when we arrive. It takes quite a few hours, probably 3 to 4 hours to get, and it's lava rock that they use to get it hot enough to be able to go in. And so it's definitely a bit of a deal. And it was 250 pesos per person, or about maybe $18, 15, $18. Very, very, very reasonable in my opinion. The one on the left there is more round, and the one that we went in is more square, which is traditionally more Mayan. And my first thought was, well, one's more masculine, one's more feminine, because the masculine was
See,
such
this is
straight
a
lines. So I found that really interesting. So there you have it. That's the one video that we have for that. And Uh, as we went in, we all just repeated the songs and did our best. And if you get too hot, you do a tuck and duck, I call it. You put your head down and you cover your arms so that you can breathe a little cooler air. You can also lie down on the floor and in a fetal position so that you can breathe a bit easier as well. And so it was really, really beautiful. Um, yeah, we enjoyed it. And I just want to get on and say hello, I'm Bob. Hello, Sassy Cindy. Good to see you guys. So grateful that you're here. If anybody has any questions for us, do let us know. And hi, Arlene. And yeah, thank you for letting us know if the mic is being funny so that we are able to adjust it. So it's perfect. And yeah, that was our experience today. And we all came out of it quite pink in the face and quite soaked to the bone, so to speak, right? Like you just do a good outpouring, you're drinking lots of liquids. And then we were starving because we didn't eat breakfast. We decided to come in and do it. We had a little bit of a late night meal last night. So then we came in a little bit like, no ayahuasca this time. No, this was not an ayahuasca trip. Although they do, Karina was telling us about the different ceremonies they do down here where you actually go 4 days of dancing and then going in and doing the sweats in the morning. And some people are doing medicine and some aren't. So it just depends. Yeah. I don't think medicine was needed because as I closed my eyes, I kept seeing the third eye color, the purplish color that kept coming through for me big time. And with my eyes open, same thing. I'm like, okay, this is interesting. And you could really feel the vibration in there. It was really, yeah, it was really beautiful. They hold beautiful space. Yeah, absolutely. And there was two gentlemen in there sort of balancing with the females because there was 5 of us females there. And then the one hosting who was doing the pour and putting in specific herbs and essential oils so that each session, each heat had another clearing, and that goes into your pores. So you're actually soaking it in. So it's also not only just cleansing, it's also bringing in new energy. So it's, yeah, I can't speak to enough. It's really, really beautiful.
Yes, it's amazing. Because it was some of the information that I'm coming into is when we understand the elements and how we excuse me, how we utilize them. The one thing about air, about breath, is to understand that when we get to understanding what meditation is about, in that meditativeness, we come to understand that over time to become aware of our breath. And as we become aware of our breath, we must understand that the pores are also a facilitator in taking in breath. And as you go along in time and you become more and more aware of your breath, then because oh, I just went blank.
Because you come more
Prana.
Yes.
Prana. Sorry about that.
Chi.
Prana, chi, is vitally important, but prana can also be taken in not just in through the lungs, but through the pores of the body. So that's definitely something that, as we go along, will be something that will help you understand how to practice and to do meditative things with the elements, to understand how to utilize them to the fullness and stuff through the courses that I'm in the process of creating. So I told T, it says, next time we go back, it says, I'm going to utilize that. I'm going to utilize the exercise to not just breathe in through the lungs, but to breathe in through the pores as well. And it's like kind of almost euphoricness, very lightness. This is where, when you understand breath, this is where you understand the statement of becoming light as a feather. So,
and that's how you learn how to levitate. And it's funny because my entire life, we were talking about it today, my entire life, because I've spent a lot of time in the snow, whenever you don't want to break the snow and you know you're sitting on a crust, I always said, or I'm on ice, I'm always like, light as a feather, light as a feather. So I'm like, oh, I've been programming that one for years. Shelly's asking here on Facebook, will David P. be at Vedette Lake in April? Yes, he will. And for those of you that know Alex, who works closely with David, there's a new show coming on Adventures for Connection. I'm gonna spill the beans because we've been chatting with the boys. There's that, and there's the Drum Run, which is this fellow Lyle, this beautiful soul who did this big circle around BC with David Pills in tow as a bridge between the Indigenous and Lyle, and they work directly with a specific unit at Children's Hospital. So not Children's Hospital in general, but a really specific unit about working directly with the kids and giving their power back to them. So Lyle will often go and work with the kids and give them their choice back. So yeah, it's quite beautiful. And we have some other surprising things that have been unfolding too. So we've been down here. I feel like we've been alchemizing so much, throwing in a little magic, working on some stuff, and calling in the next steps for us. So you're going to see Adventures for Connection grow. And we're very excited about that. Yeah, very excited. So there'll be something around, and if you follow Alex at all, he just did a post earlier and tagged me on it regarding Wolf's Den, and so how the different packs and how packs can operate, and how the men's group and bringing men back into their masculine divinity, and then allowing the women at the same time. So it's this bridge between the two, and we'll work together and collaborate on that, which we're super excited because it's been the two of us and we're like, we need some masculine energy. Boom, there they are. Just like literally they messaged us and we were like, yes. So David and I have been working together for a long time. It's been 2.5, 3 years now, and we hit it off right away. We really have a beautiful dance that we do when we're working together, and some of you have seen that at Vedette. So, yeah, I'm very excited. Very, very excited. It's a beautiful alchemization, really. Absolutely. Yeah. So great news. Can't wait. Thanks, Lou. Appreciate all the kind words, you guys. Yeah. Yeah. No more separation. Oh, no. No. No separation, no control. It's full freedom from here on out. So we're really excited about that. And we've got some other things that we don't want to announce quite yet. So we'll announce them as we know that they're dropping in properly. But definitely you'll be seeing more faces, more courses, different lives on different days of the week. So we're growing at a really nice rate. It's a very controlled rate because we've got lots of systems and back end stuff to make sure we have in place. And yeah, the retreats are just going to grow. Yeah. So we've been really enjoying our group. We've got managing emotions anxiety group we've been working with, and that's been going really beautifully. We do have a live at 5:30 today. Not a live, sorry, a Zoom at 5:30 today. And so if anybody's interested in that, or somebody that's struggling, it's free to jump in on this one. And we would be really excited for you guys to share this out. So if you know somebody or you want to join yourself, I'm just going to copy it and I'm going to paste it into each chat. So give me 1 second. Look, I can paste whatever I want. Sorry, couldn't help it. There you go. There's one. And we've been having some really beautiful transformation, and it's such an honor to witness people getting to know themselves better and transforming themselves. Do you want to add to that?
Oh yeah, it's been a beautiful process. It's one of those that as we've gone along in this, it forms a bond with people where it becomes that a bond becomes a community. And in that, it's a community where each of them are able to go in and just speak to what it is they're going through and be able to express the emotions that are coming up that they feel is that level of pressure that sometimes some of us just don't know what to do with. And in that, the great thing is being able to come in and express and just be whatever it is that expression needs to be, and know that none of it is ever judged. All we ever wanted anyone to be able to do is just come in, express where they're at, express how they're feeling, express what they're going through. And we hold that space, and in holding that space, T and I do the best that we can by giving the guidance and the tools, the directions of the possibilities or probabilities of what may be bringing up these emotions and these feelings that sometimes can be a bit overwhelming. A lot of it they want to be able to define as anxiety. When we go through these processes, sometimes it's good to shed these definements and understand that, especially in the place that we are right here, right now, given the transitions that have been taking place for quite some time now, we're just in the beginning of the precipice of really recognizing the emotions that we were never allowed to express as before all this began to transition and all this became started coming to light. And right now, the beautiful thing is that most everyone is being given this gift, because this is a gift. It's a gift to allow yourselves to release all this pressure that's been built up within the body, that's affecting the organs, that's affecting the things that are so vitally important to keep this vessel, this beautiful spaceship that we chose to come here and traverse this world in with, so as to start clearing this trapped energy that is within these beautiful mechanisms, which keeps this vessel moving forward. So when we work with this, it's always going to be just recognizing that, being able to place where these emotions and these feelings may be coming from is the first step. But understanding that it's not something you have to go back and relive. It's just only in the observation mode only, so that you just get an understanding of what it's about, what was trapped, and allowing it just to be what it needed to be in that moment, in that time, where when we needed to express it, we weren't allowed to, or because we were taught we weren't accepted of being allowed to express those emotions. So this is about that release. This is about moving that energy. This is about giving you that level of sovereignty from that emotion that was held within whatever organ or place within the body that may have seemed like it was a prison or a prism, so to speak, because it was never allowed to be released in the way that would have been healthy at the time when you had that emotion come up. And this, what we are here accomplishing, is allowing you to, is helping you understand you have that allowance now. Give yourself that allowance to release those emotions, and do it in whatever shape, form, or fashion you feel you may be able to release, because this is about letting go.
Well said.
Thank you.
Yes. And for those of you who've just come in, hi, Joanne. How are you? Hi, Cross. How are you? We've got a new mic tonight. We just want to share. It's a little Palo Santo. So as we speak, we're like, it smells good. We're so easily entertained. Yeah. Norma's, there's so much. Don't make it difficult. It's not hard. This doesn't have to be this big mountain that you need to climb to find yourself again. It is simple, small steps, daily small steps, so that you can make sure that you're honoring you and giving yourself the time you deserve. And so it does take effort on your part. It is up to you to commit to yourself that you want to change. And quite often, we will never change until we hit the very bottom. Like, we're okay, I'm at rock bottom. There's no other way for me to operate anymore, because we get into this mode of being human and work and family, and it's just this constant go, go, go until you hit a wall or till you hit rock bottom. And then you're like, oh, your health hits you. You have adrenal fatigue. there's all these different things that your mind has done. You have a, a big breakdown. So these, we're trying to help to avoid these things and how to move through them in a really beautiful way. Hi, Michelle. Nice to see you. Yeah, and we're super excited to offer this. So that's on after this. In the meantime, light up that gets. We already used some Palo Santo earlier around before we got started. So yeah, and we would love to know how you guys are feeling. How are you doing right now? How was that full moon last week? Hi, Michelle. Good to see you. Uh, how was that full moon last week? How did that treat you? How you integrated it? Did you integrate it? Did you feel anything? I'd be really curious to hear what you guys have to say. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, you can tell me. No worries. Whenever you're ready, Andrea. Yeah, absolutely. And so, I can tell you that there was some pretty big energy shifts for me. Nice Punisher shirt, Norma. Yeah, good catch. She's had that one for a while. We're actually funny that we're both wearing gray all of a sudden. We weren't earlier, so we both came out from an appidation. Yeah, yeah. Oh, good for you, Cross. So Cross says, reach that point some days back with spouse. I finally released all the stress that I was doing to myself with regards to him. I feel so light. Beautiful. Congratulations. Giving yourself the permission to let go. Right. And for me personally, I have to move my body. First thing this morning, I was out. I ended up running into somebody on the beach and walking forever and chatting with her who's from Switzerland, who is into tantra energy and teaching people how to operate in a little bit different way from a different perspective. And I was like, oh, I want to chat more about that because I don't know a ton about it. And then I get back and tell Norma, and Norma's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because the synchronicities are just so beautiful. They really, really
They
are.
don't stop.
No, not as far as we're concerned. But when she came in and she was telling me about this, I was like, that's interesting because I'm in the stage of gaining knowledge and information about breath work and tantric and tantra, but understanding that a lot of understanding the tantra is that just like anything else out here, it's been manipulated, it's been uh, subversed, so to speak, where it was taken and utilized for outside experiences, and not in tantric is actually about the feminine and the masculine within us, and it basically explains what I've been putting out here for quite some time. It's about the dance between the feminine and the masculine. That when you sit down and you allow the feminine and masculine come to the temple, to meet at the temple, to be able to, you know, come to the place of that understanding where you can find the center of that balance between the two, then it becomes a dance. And that's what basically tantra is. But it's also about breath work. And that's where
Prana.
also, yeah, the prana, the chi. And that's where also you begin to understand more about the elements that creates everything, and understanding that there are 5 elements. Most people do not understand that the very first element is ether, aether. That's where everything comes from. And that is your center point. That is the center. That is your compass center point, where you tossed out that other side of the compass when you set your boundary. So it's a beautiful.
Can you draw that back for a second
Sure.
and explain what that means? What do you mean when you say drop your? Can you explain what that means from a more physical, energetic point of view rather than the compass? So what are you doing exactly?
So when we do basically, as we're releasing emotions, let's use this as an example. When we work through things within us that that we need to release, so that way we're not holding it within the body. That is that is the center point of a beginning of a reset, so to speak. So sometimes you work from the outside in, sometimes you work from the center out. It just all depends on what the emotion is, what it's dealing with, what part the body is in. I'm trying to have a good flow here. So as you traverse these emotions and these feelings, and you release them, and then you have that as room, what happens is no matter where you began, there's always going to be, from that point, whenever you release those emotions, then that center point allows you to create an even broader um, circumference, so to speak, because you've moved out that emotion, and now it's left open for something new to come in. So when you do that, then what you're doing is you're redrawing your boundary, so to speak, from that position, because now you're able to fill it with something that is of propelment, or something that assists you further in what it is you are accomplishing, in finding more and more about what you're capable of, who you are, your strengths, your gifts, your ability to love self from where you are. And as you do that, then it's an expansion. So from that center, what you're doing is you're just moving in and out. It's because, as I've stated and quoted before, Savon says it beautifully. The same way in is the same way out, and vice versa. So that's what we're doing. It's like the ebb and the flow of the ocean and the waves, because of how the moon affects the oceans. It's emotions. The moon is the emotions in motion. So when you understand center point is just the beginning of the understanding of an emotion, and to move it out, so that way when that wave comes back in, you're replacing it with feelings that you know more about who you are. You are able to strengthen your mind in a place, from a space of love, joy, happiness, forgiveness, and complete utter just loving the life that you've been given to live. When you realize and recognize that those emotions, although we may be as humans dealing and understanding them now, they're more profound in helping you reflect and understand why you went through what you went through. And when you see what you gone through, but you see it from the observation point, then it really just helps you really see that if you hadn't had that experience, you wouldn't be feeling the way you feel now. And that's, for the most part, when you see it and recognize it as for what it is, will be liberation.
Yeah. And a lot of the time it's a gift, and you're mastering your flow, not trying, mastering.
Yes, thank you.
She's always correcting people on that one.
Have my moments.
Yeah. So as we were asking about the full moon, we did get some responses. Thank you, Norma. That was a beautiful explanation. Knocked me on my butt, 6 for 5 days. I feel better tonight. Yeah, it can. It absolutely can. It depends on where the energies are coming in, how much you have built up in you. And yes, Arlene, absolutely. You did the writing and burning. Yeah, I've been dealing with high pain levels as well. So kind of sentimental. Absolutely. We get it. And yes, Michelle, absolutely, are actually inherited. So we have ancestral baggage. We chose to come in at this time and pick the family we picked to come in and clean up the lineage. I wholeheartedly believe that. And to realize that, yeah, some of those things are inherited. Yeah. And some of it's even back from your soul path as well. So there's many levels to this and many layers. The most prominent ones are the ones from this lifetime, that we're essentially helping people work through. And then that next lifetime, and those other ancestral ones would be, yeah, as you go ebb and flow. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you can fall asleep if you need to, Andrea. No worries. We're not boring. You're just tired, girl. I know you. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, crosses exactly, Norma. The last few days of the Schumann chart is making my eyes roll back. Energies are wild. Yeah, I think that's part of this clearing going on here. Yeah, cross, that's beautiful. I'm in my own power and control what I do and when. Yeah, that's like really freeing experience, and almost to the point where sometimes it's like, oh, what do I do with myself? Yeah, beautiful. Tango had another spinal flow session. Can't say enough about it. I'm over the moon. Yeah, that'll be a lot of clearing in your spine, which will help with the energy flow. So I'm sure you're feeling amazing. Yeah, absolutely. JM says, release the deep seated lack, not enough, and competition, keeping up with Joneses. That came up prior to my sister visiting. Ah, beautiful. Setting the intentions to let go. Beautiful. During the power of the full moon. So, yeah, it's amazing what you can do, right? When you set your intentions, setting that intention is manifesting, right? Everything you say, everything you do, every thought, you are manifesting your reality. And that not enough is a big one for people. Absolutely. Yeah, no, so good to hear. Yeah, that's good, Andrea. I'm glad you're having amazing shifts. Beautiful. Yeah, well, you're doing schoolwork and, we've discussed what your family life is like. So, yeah, just keep doing what you can do. For me also with this full moon being the first one of the year, it really has me looking to the cycles, and because we've been watching the tides here so much, it's been really phenomenal to watch how far it goes out as the full moon hits just before, and then it doesn't go out that far again until the next full moon. So, when the moon has been, I don't know if it's out there tonight, but we've been moon watching, literally bathing in the moonlight, like sitting up there and just between sunlight and moonlight, right? Yeah, and then sweat lodges. So we're playing with the elements. I've been calling in and sending out vibrations and all the elements and all the animals. Yeah, it's been really beautiful. Yeah. And Cross says, yeah, the best thing is I have so much peace. When you have those big decisions that you need to make and you finally make the decision, it's a release. It's like, oh, I can let that go. Right. And for me, moving my energy, like moving my body, is the biggest way I shift energy. It is like almost a must, as I mentioned earlier. And that can be swimming, that can be walking, that can be yoga, that can just be stretching, that can be qigong, right? What do I need to release? There's certain movements you do that really clear out the energy and bring in the new energy and clear. And it's very slow and methodical, so to speak, so that you're actually focused more on the breath and your energy than you are on external. So you really go inward as you're doing it, which is really beautiful as well. Yeah, absolutely. You did a little qigong.
I did.
Yeah. I'm gonna share your
Yeah.
experience with that.
Um,
Watch out for the cable.
Yes, I did. I actually did. We did. I guess it was about a month ago,
Yeah.
and it was so helpful because I was having, um, I was having a little bit of like what felt like somebody was inside me and turning up the heat, and a lot of that has to do with the liver and what was the other one? The liver.
Hot sauce?
No, it's not because of the hot sauce. Although it probably didn't help because I love hot stuff. I love spices. I love the jalapenos and all the just hot stuff. And of course that was not helping. But when I did the qigong, and it was about the liver and the pancreas, I believe it was. But it was about moving that energy, because what happens is you have trapped energy there, and it actually is affecting the sacral, and that's where I was burning up. But it was more in the back. I was feeling the sacral more burning up in the back, and then coming through the front. And I was like, I always felt like it was like somebody was inside just turning the knob up on the heat for me. And I'm like, oh, because I was burning from the inside out. And there'd be times I was just like, I just couldn't get cooled off, and she's laughing, and I was like, it's because it just doesn't, it's like you're burning up. And I was like,
It's your face when it's happening.
no. So I'm like, oh, I'm like, turn it down, boys, turn it down. You're putting so much coal
so
in.
what happened at Qigong?
So as I'm doing the Qigong, it really started once I performed the exercise, it moved that out. And I haven't had that issue since. None whatsoever. Maybe a tad bit, but nothing like what it was. And it only took me doing it that one time. However, I have incorporated it where I do it at least 2 to 3 times a week when I get up. So that way it's not energy that's trapped in that organ. So that's the reason why it's so important to understand that the organs play such a vital role in the function of this vessel. So vitally important. Hence the reason why the courses that I'm in the process of creating will be able to explain the importance of the organs, what they represent, what they really are, understanding the diet and the health and the movements and the motions that we choose to utilize as the tools to exercise, to eat the proper diet, or eat the herbs and spices, or vegetables and fruits and things like that, that helps promote health within each organ. And understanding that each cycles that we go through, things like full moons and quarter moons and new moons, understanding the astrology that goes with this tells you a lot about what you must focus on each day, because each day has an important aspect to the organs of the body and the system, and what we must utilize to help in the functionality and making sure that they are properly functioning, so that this vessel continues on and lives a long and fruitful life and takes us anywhere we want. It will supply us with the gifts through magnetism or through electrical, because of the elements that exist within us that created this form. So that's okay, I got a little lost what we was talking about. I just had something come in.
Hot flashes.
Thank
and
you.
the
Yes.
Qigong.
So that's the reason why things like Qigong or Tai Chi are great exercises, if you so choose to take them on, to assist moving energy in the body, because they do focus on particular parts and how to move that energy out and to keep it open. And it also works with the chakra system.
Absolutely. And there's a couple comments in here I just want to refer to as well. And Sassy, you're right. Our bodies will tell us what it wants and doesn't want. And we are also unique, not only by our frequency, but what our bodies need. And a lot of that depends on your frequency, when you came in, what planets, right? What planets you're organized by. So we're definitely going to be tapping more into that. My whole being wants to follow the moon right now and pay attention to every single day. Where's the moon at? How do I feel? Where's the moon at? How do I feel? So that I can start to track and document. And then there's the days of the week with the eniology, with specific foods, crystals, exercises, frequencies, things you can do, and to integrate that a little bit and play with it and see. And so I'm always about this play, because if I'm not playing, I'm not here to do much else, honestly. We're always playing. So I want to play. And so I'm always learning and always seeking. And so is Norma's always obsessing and seeking. You are. Okay.
This right here, man. Let me tell you. I should have left that door closed this morning.
Can't help it. I'm a little snarky right now. I can't help it. Must have been all the heat.
You're snarky, and I'm just feel like I'm stumbling over my tongue today. So I mean,
yeah, absolutely. And so just keep playing, right? Keep playing. Awesome, Logan. Starting with my olive oil, cayenne, and lemon juice tomorrow. You don't need luck. Don't need to wish you luck. Have fun with it. Pay attention to how you feel afterwards, right? And how document it, right? So only by documenting can we see what shifts and changes happen for us, right? And so we're really big on the documenting. Like I look at these videos as part of our journaling because where are we at? What's going on for us? We're always sharing with you guys, and then we can go back through it and actually go, oh yeah, that was going on then. And I'll go back and look at specific videos for particular things as well. Andrea says, "Oh my goodness, I love hot stuff too." Yeah. And Arlene says, "Menopause, laugh out loud." Yeah. And Shelly says, oh, yes, I'm familiar with that, except it's more in my heart, solar plexus. Yeah. Hot flashes. Yeah. It can be upgrades going on for that particular energy center chakra. And I always say energy center as well, because you have nerves that match up with each chakra point, each energy point. And so really paying attention to how checking in on how you feel and running that energy through you to see what's going on. Ah, Cross says I've been putting castor oil in my navel at bedtime and I've been taking black cumin seed in my morning smoothie. And how are you feeling? Yeah. I love this, you guys. You're all exploring and getting to know yourselves better. And that's really all we've ever wanted for you, is to think and have a different perspective and have another um get really curious about what else you can do and what else you can take. Yeah, Andrea says, I love spicy. It just doesn't love me. Yeah. Well, we won't talk about the pita, pata. Yeah, I like spicy too. I like things hot. One thing I would recommend that everyone, for your mitochondria, your microbiome within the gut, which is really can affect the brain and how you feel in the brain, is adding in some fermentation. So fermented foods. And as Chef Agat says, and I really am grateful for knowing her and being able to order some food from her when I'm in Vancouver, some specific pieces of the what she has to offer. There's some things that I really love to have from her because I just won't do it the same myself. And it's incredible adding in fermentation, sauerkraut. It could be there's good pickles you can get that are done in fermentation style instead of vinegar. So you want to avoid the vinegars, aside from apple cider vinegar, but you can make your own fermented vegetables. You can add in whatever you want, carrots, cauliflower, anything you want. And that would be really beautiful to see how you feel different and document that, especially for those of you with a bit of depression or anxiety. Your food is your really one of your biggest triggers that affect the brain. And then getting in those good fats, avocado, coconut oil, yeah, ghee. Your brain feeds on fats. It needs the fats. It's really, really important. So that whole generation that fats are bad, fats are bad. You see a lot of dementia and Alzheimer's in those, and I don't think it's a mistake, so to speak. And oh, what are we chatting about over here? Sassy, I need my naps. Never did before. Naps come and go for me. Absolutely. Yeah. Sleeping deeper and not needing as much. Beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. I take the BSO at night. Best sleep I've had in a long time. What is BSO? I don't remember that one. Can you put it in here? I take NATO high dose each day, as well as other things like pine needle and mushroom tinctures. Beautiful. Beautiful. Food is medicine. Tinctures, nature is medicine. We are nature. So you can imagine that all those things, as we start to explore, like we never would have explored this a few years ago. We would have gone on a status quo. And it's just really beautiful to see everyone exploring it. Yeah, you just found kimchi. Yeah, said thanks to me. You're welcome. Yeah, fermented sriracha is so good. Thanks to Tanya. Yeah, absolutely. Lou, I will post. Let me see if I can find that one here in a few minutes, and I'll post. There is somebody that I was following, and I'm like, oh, she's got really good, short, concise videos, and they're all free on YouTube, and I really liked her. So I'll try and post that one up. Oh, black seed oil. Thank you, Denise. I have DSO in my head, even though it's typed BSO, because I have DSO for as a topical pain thing that I brought with for my neck in case I needed it. Yeah, black seed oil. Thank you guys. Absolutely. We've awakened beautifully. Absolutely. And nano content niece is fermented soy. Oh, okay. Perfect. Beautiful. NATO. Oh, NATO canise. Yeah, that's an acquired taste, that bean curd stuff. Yeah, I've had that in Japan. There's some pretty interesting things in Japan, but they know they're so healthy. What things have you introduced to your diet that you think is helping your microbiome or feel better because of
Oh, hmm.
kimchi, the, the fermented sriracha?
Oh, yes, sriracha. It has, it's not so, what would be the word? It's not so,
Go ahead.
I'm
It's
trying, it's like the word,
it's not super spicy.
yeah, it's like, it doesn't, the stomach doesn't wrestle with it as much. Let's just
Yeah.
put it as simple as that. That whenever we have the sriracha, it's such a great flavor and it puts flavor to everything. And it helps me to stay away from so much of the hot spices, like the jalapenos and what is it that with the Valentinos in there? No,
Jalapenos.
Valentinos, the hot sauce.
Valentine. Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a
So
Mexican hot sauce.
yeah, so it does help with that. It also is good for the digestive tract, where it, because of the fermentation, it I can't remember what it does, but it does get rid of a lot of the bad. Uh, uh, Man, I am sorry, y'all. I'm just having a hard time here
It's
because
been
I'm
a
just
hot.
going in and out here.
Yeah.
But it does help to cleanse the digestive tract when you're able to keep a good regimen with the foods that you eat. Then your digestive tract is happier. And when you're able to do that, then you're able to think clearer. You're able to stay focused a little longer in the things that you may be putting your attention to. So it's great knowing that when you can introduce things into your body that assist it in its clarity, in its functionality, in understanding that each organ assists the other organ as well, then when you're able to understand the order of that, because the order begins, but primarily it's going to begin with the stomach. The order begins with the stomach and what you put in your stomach, and then from there, depending on what it is that you have taken in, determines where it is stored or where it is put to
Where
be
it's needed.
utilized,
Yeah.
right, for each organ in its functionality. So that's the reason why it's always very vitally important to understand that you must have a balance in your nutrition. For everything must be supported, and everything must be supported in an order, in a way that the body actually, it when it gets ready to flush the system, it flushes it in the way that it needs to in order to keep the body in a pure like state. So yeah, it's great to know that at some point we will individually ourselves know what we need to provide our body for, as we begin to understand what that order is. Then in that order, and we understand, the astrology to the day that we became alive, so to speak.
In this
And
lifetime.
yes, in this lifetime. So this is the reason why it's always that it's important that T and I are able to provide this information through tools and guidance of the things that we each daily recognize about ourselves, in how our daily activities and routines affects us. So that way, if we see anything that doesn't look like it's definitely propelling us forward, then we can adjust and see what does. So it's very, very important to be so aware of yourself, because you are so important. This vessel is so important. This is what's keeping you here and having these experiences, and knowing that as we go through this, it's only going to get so much more fun, so much more clear, so much more experiential. So that's what we're doing. We're here having fun in ways that can be unimaginable, but definitely always will show up in ways where it can prove to you that nothing is unimaginable nor impossible.
Absolutely. So she's laughing at you here about your wrestling.
My wrestling moves. I'll eventually get rid of that southern.
What? No, you don't need to. What was the kitty corner thing? What did you say? What did you call it? What did you call it?
Catty corner.
Catty corner. So instead of kitty corner, it's catty corner. I'm like, who's being catty? So it's just funny some of what comes out of her mouth. And I'm sure I'm just as funny, but what accent? I don't have an accent.
Boy.
Yeah, some things.
It's quite funny because it's like I'm from, if we're going to be, technical about this, I'm from the South. She's from the North.
Right?
We're almost 3,000 miles away until recently. So it's quite unique because the friends that I have in Georgia are predominantly Northerners that's moved to the South. And so I can only imagine the experience it has been for her to hear my Southern style way of speech or speaking. So yeah, it's quite fun. We have fun with each other all the time.
We are always laughing. Absolutely. Hello, Bets. Good to see you. We're just about to wrap up, love, so you'll have to catch the replay. Yeah. Say hockey, Tanya. I say hockey. What do you say?
Hockey.
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 Hockey. Yeah, y'all. Yeah, creek.
Oh, you say creek too?
Yeah.
Some people say crick.
I don't say crick. It's a creek.
Say garage.
Garage. Okay, now we're just getting silly over here. Catty corner is the way I've always known it. Isn't that funny? So to me, if somebody's catty, they're like being kind of mean, right? So I was like, what do you mean catty corner? Yeah.
See, I told you they came down and confused us with our language. I'm just saying. They confused us from north to south. They didn't know what east and west is going through. I can only imagine.
Right? Right? All right, you guys, we're going to wrap it up. And yeah, Norma, so Andrea's from Georgia. Yeah, so she gets it. Absolutely. You're welcome. Ciao for now. See you guys later. All right, Tango. Yeah, so parting words. Be you, do you. And we want to know what you're up to and what you're doing for your health. I love hearing these stories. It's great. Yeah. We all need more laughter. Absolutely. We're always trying to bring the laughter in because when you laugh, you shift your vibration. When you shift your vibration, you feel better. And when you feel better, it's easier to operate in your life. Anything else you want to add?
It's wonderful that I'm where I'm at, and I am so just blessed. So it's one of those that at this point in time, the only thing I can say is please forgive me for my stumbling self today. It's just I'm so relaxed, and so in that I'm just kind of meandering in and out of just being present and being in that presence. Then I'm able to be more observant of who I'm allowing myself just to be. Sometimes that's I'm being embodied, and sometimes I'm floating high. And what the beauty of this is, and what I'm wanting to point out here is that I'm so appreciative that you all accept who I am and who I'm being, what I'm representing, whether it be that I'm sitting here going all the time, or and it's one of those that it's not that I don't know how to speak. It's just when you're meandering between two worlds and you're just enjoying the flow and the ebb of that, you can only just be what it is that you're being in any given moment. And in those moments, all I can do is prove to you that it's fun in that people will begin to see and accept you for everything that you are. Because when they see that you can be just merely who you are in being, they're going to want the same. And you're going to be the reason and the purpose that they will want that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Everyone deserves to be accepted for who they are, where they are, as long as you're being respectful of not attacking others, so to speak. Right. So you do you. That's all we've ever said. And yeah, we love you very much. We wish you all a beautiful night. And we hope to see some of you on the call here shortly. So enjoy your evening. And until Tuesday. And and next full moon, Ashala's coming back. She's going to be our full moon tarot girl. So how exciting is that? So we've got so many exciting things to share. So yeah, we're definitely vibing high over here. So again, have a beautiful night. We love you all. See you soon.